Hello everybody, 69 Ninjas, some two inferior guys. This video will be a comparison video between Crystal Magic Weapon, Sunlight Blade, and the Dark Moon Blade. My test dummy is 8 resistance, same person this whole entire video. My base damage is 263. That's with a plus 15 Boulder Side Sword and 45 dex. So I'm using the Crystal Magic Weapon with the recommended catalyst for level 25 intelligence. And as you saw, I'm still 45 dex. So here I hit 393. With base damage, that is an increase of 130 damage. Here's Crystal Magic Weapon at level 50 intelligence with the 10 crystallization catalyst because it's the recommended catalyst. Here's a 550, that's an increase of 287 damage. Here I'm using the Sunlight Blade with the minimum requirement of 30 faith. And the Canvas Talisman, I believe that's what it is, because that is the recommended talisman again. Sorry, it takes 6 years to attack. Here's the Sunlight Blade doing 460 damage, that is an increase of 197 damage. Here's a Sunlight Blade with a Dark Moon Catalyst at 50 faith. At 547, that's an increase of 284 damage. Here's the Dark Moon Blade, that's a lot to read, I know. But I rank up in each covenant at level 30 faith, so you can see the damage difference. There's a lot of PvPing for me, by the way. Here I hit 479, that is an increase of 216 damage. Here's rank 2 in the Covenant with Dark Moon Blade and the Canvas Talisman. I hit 494. That's an increase of 231 damage. Here I'm rank 3 in the Covenant. Here I hit 509. I hit 510, so I tell him to heal up. Let's do this again, just see what number I get. I hit 510, so that is an increase of 247 damage. Now here's me with 50 faith using the Dark Moon Talisman, and Dark Moon Blade of course. 605, that is an increase of 342 damage. I didn't show you at 32 intelligence. And at 32 intelligence, you can use the 10 crystallization catalyst, which is by far one of the best catalysts there is, because of how much higher your damage is with it. And this is the damage output of the Crystal Magic Weapon with the 10 crystallization catalyst compared to the rest of them, from level 32 all the way to level 50. You might want to pause it here if you want to look at this any longer. Here's a Sunlight Blade, ranking it at number 3. I don't think there's anything special about it. It does the weakest amount of damage, and there's no real good miracles for PvP besides Wrath of God and the Sunlight Blade and Dark Moon Blade, which they're both weapon buffs. You don't have to be in a covenant to use it, which means you could be a Dick Wraith and use the Sunlight Blade. I'll put links in the description so you can see more about the Sunlight Blade if you want to use it, but I don't recommend it. Here's the Dark Moon Blade, ranking it at number 2 in this countdown, although it is my personal favorite. It is the highest damage, but you have to be in the Covenant to use it, which is the downside. But the higher rank in the Covenant you are, the more damage you can do. When you're PvPing, you can just use other miracles with it. It's a little bit better in the Sunlight Blade, only because you can do more higher damage. I'll put a link in the description so you can find out more about it. In my opinion, the Crystal Magic Weapon is the overall best. It can do the second highest damage if you're using the 10 crystallization catalyst, which is wonderful. Or you can cast it up to 3 times and do the weakest amount of damage if you're using another catalyst. which isn't that big of a deal because that's up to 3 minutes of one buff if you're able to cast it all 3 times. You can also use other sorceries, which can maximize damage from up close and afar, which is wonderful when you're fighting. Although it is not my personal favorite. In the description, there will be a link about the crystal magic weapon. Make sure to check that out.